It's Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti.
All right, we're going to get to the picks. Bad week last week. And unlike our intrepid producer, Mr. Brian Riscona, we are mortals, but we forge on. I'll just tell you, when underdogs don't cover, this show is going to need to take cover. Boomer, are you ready to redeem? Are you ready to
yes,
bounce
I
back?
am ready to redeem because we do have data points now. At least that's what I was told.
I know, mistakes were made. I have to replot the data on the matrix. I got to move the strings everywhere.
Okay.
Then let's get to the picks.
Picks of the week.
All right, we start out. Let's do the brunch bowl. Ravens laying 4, taking on the Titans in London. What do you got?
You know, I think it's a tight game. I think it's a low-scoring game. These two teams both do not score a lot of points. As a matter of fact, when you take a look at the over-unders for both of these teams, they considerably favor the under. So I'm going to say low-scoring game. I'm going to take the 4 points, and I'll take. I think I'm gonna lay the 4 point. No, I'm going to lay the. I am very confused about this one. I'm going to take the Titans and the 4 points is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, if this was in Tennessee, I'd be with you. This is still, it's London. I'll go Ravens, but this might be a veto for me. Let's go Atlanta, laying 2.5, hosting the Commanders.
You know, because they're hosting the Commanders, I'll take them. And because Sam Howell is the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL, he'll make some mistakes here on the road. I like what Desmond Ridder did last week. I was happy for him. He led his team back to a fourth-quarter comeback. I will take the home favorite, 2.5 points, and the Falcons.
My issue is, as well as Ridder played, they still had 7 at the half. They still had to escape a rookie quarterback. Look, the Artie Party, I love him. That offense, there's something not right there, and it's more than Ridder. I'm actually going to go Commanders here. Let's go Niners. This number now out to 10.5. Niners traveling to Cleveland to take on P.J. Walker. What do you want to do here?
You know, I want to take the Niners.
Is Watson worth 7 points though? On open, this was 2.5, 3. Is he really worth 7?
Yeah, I think yes. So to me, P.J. Walker, what he can do is he can run around and they will try to limit the amount of decisions he has to make. They'll do a lot of play action passing, a lot of 7-man fronts. They'll try to double team Nick Bosa. And then they got to hope that their own defense, which is one of the best defenses in football, gets a couple turnovers on Brock Purdy. But he has been, as I said earlier, nearly flawless as the quarterback of the 49ers. So I feel like I want to take the 49ers and lay the points.
The one thing I'll say, Jim Schwartz with that wide 9 scheme and the way that they play, he's actually been very successful against the Shanahan offense. Now, I know it's P.J. Walker. I'll take the 10.5, but I'll say it to the people. This is not a game I would ever wager my own money on.
Well, you got a veto later on coming up. So,
what's up, buddy?
I said you got a veto later coming up.
Oh,
later
I know. I wish I had about 7 of them for this card. All right, this is a game I actually really do like. Saints laying 1.5, traveling to Houston, taking on the Texans.
Again, I'm going to go with the favorite here, and the reason I'm doing that is because of their defense. And we saw their defense on full display last week on the road in New England. I still think C.J. Stroud is playing great, but this will be the best defense he's going to face. So I'm going to take the Saints and lay the points.
Agree totally. It's just got like a 20-17 or 17-14 low-scoring game. I like the Saints. Dennis Allen, that defense, it travels. And Stroud is still a rookie. Saints for me. Dolphins, 13.5 against the Panthers.
Well, listen, the Dolphins, no Devon Achane in this game. He's going to be out for probably the next 4 weeks. But I think the Panthers will try to – I can't. So I don't even want to pick this game. This is my veto game. I am not picking this game.
The level of mental strife
it is.
you're
I'm
going through in selecting this.
I looking at this game – thinking, okay, rookie quarterback on the road, the Dolphins coming off of a beatdown of the Giants and blah, 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 blah. It's too scary for me with that many points, and
It should be. It should be. You could listen, here's how it works. If you want to know why Boomer is struggling with this, it could be a 31-10 game with 18 seconds left, and you have to sit there, a 31-13 game, and you got to sweat. That's the point. I mean, the 13.5, that's a Titanic number. But I'm not mad if you go Mike. I'm vetoing.
I am
It's
vetoing this.
terrible.
I am vetoing this pick right here.
Okay. It's Panthers or pass if you're going to play it. You can mark me down for the Panthers. That one could go in the veto pile. Let's go to a game I actually like. Bengals laying 2.5, hosting Geno Smith. What do we got?
Arrested Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks coming to the Bengals, who seem to have found their game. And Joe Burrow now this week says he's 100%. I told you last week he was going to be 90. He was 98%. And I also told you last week that I thought Jamar Chase was going to go off. And guess what? He did. So I think they found their sea legs, and I think they'll find their Seahawks in this game. I'll lay the 2.5, and I will take the Bengals.
Total agreement here. Love this spot for the Bengals, and I do feel like they've turned a corner. And Seattle, the problem for them is they don't have the playmakers up front. I think it'll give Burrow the time. They want to press the ball, push it down the field. I think it's a tough matchup for Seattle. I'm going to go Bengals. All right, this is something I have to do. Jags back home after 2 weeks in London, laying 4.5, hosting the Colts. So you know what to do.
Well, I do, but Trevor Lawrence owns the Colts, especially at home. I think he doesn't lose to the Colts in their building. But the fact that they've been traveling and everything else, and it is Gardner Minshew, by the way.
There it is.
Who has been a really good player for them, who's actually had 3 stints for them already this year and has led them to basically 3 victories. So I am going to take Gardner Minshew and the Colts, and I'll lay the 4 points.
See, Scones, you make fun of me, but he's learning.
Not
Colts,
lay the 4 points, take the 4 points.
It's a divisional game. You take the points. I don't think the Colts win. I do think it screws you up when you go over. If any of you guys out there have gone to Europe, spent any time, it messes you up. They've been over there for 2 weeks. I think the second half of this game could get a little squirrely. I'll take the points. Give me the Colts. Vikings, Bears. Why? Because we have to. Vikings laying the 3 in Chicago.
Yeah, but I like the Bears here, and I like the way that Justin Fields has played the last 2 weeks. You know, he's thrown 8 touchdown passes. You take a look at his numbers, and you compare them to some other players around the league that play his position, his numbers are better than theirs. So I'm going to tell you right now, the way that this young man has played the last 2 weeks, the fact that they're a home dog, and I like the way their defense has played better the last 2 weeks. I'm going to take Justin Fields and the Bears, and I'll take the points.
Yeah, and look, I just think the Vikings with no Justin Jefferson, the Vikings are broken. I mean, they put all the eggs in the basket last week. I think the Chiefs were begging to lose that game. They were begging for the Vikings to even come close, and the Vikings spit the bit. I'll take the Bears. Tough game. Now, here you go. The next game here, this is about, do you believe you are getting the absolute rock-bottom price on a team? Raiders laying 3 live. This number has changed. It is 3. Raiders laying 3, hosting the Pats.
Yeah, I like the Raiders here, and I like the Raiders because the Patriots, especially offensively, are in such a funk right now. And tell me who the playmakers are in this game. At least I know the Raiders have Max Crosby. They have Devontae Adams. They have a running game that they can fall back on if Jimmy Garoppolo is struggling. So I'm going to take the Raiders here. And, look, as you said earlier in the day, between Belichick and his former assistants, he seems to school those guys. I don't think in this game, and I don't think the way that his team is playing, that they're going to be able to beat the Raiders in Vegas.
Yeah, I would need north of a field goal to do it. I'm with you, Boomer. They look broken. The quarterback shuffle, the inability to produce anything on offense, defensively, they're lost. And they used to be a special teams darling. They're 32nd in special teams and DVOA this year. It's awful. I'm going to take Josh McDaniels over Bill Belichick. That's where we've arrived at. I'll take the Raiders. Rams laying a full touchdown, hosting the Cards.
I was hoping that this thing was going to come in at around 5 points, and then I was going to feel good about the Rams winning by a touchdown. But say what you want about the Cardinals. Each and every week, it's an interesting situation with them. They always find themselves remotely close into a game, and then all of a sudden, boom, something crazy happens against them. I think 7 is a lot of points here. I'm going to take the Cardinals, and I'll take the 7 points.
Yeah, last week I just didn't understand why you're putting Dobbs in that position to even throw a pick six in the shadow of his own end zone.
Right.
But, I digress. I'm actually going to go Rams here. I wasn't as discouraged as the final score would indicate with the Eagles game. They just couldn't get off the field, but it was death by 1,000 razor blades, by paper cuts. The Rams offense, this is a reprieve. It's like class relief in horse racing. I'm going to go Rams here. So I think the number's indicative of a of a blowout.
Cooper Kupp should have at least 12 catches in this game.
Oh, big time. Big time. And revelation, Puka Nacua. Good Lord. It's fun. The Rams are a fun team to watch. All right, Eagles laying 7. They travel to MetLife.
Okay, so the Jets are going to be with another offensive line configuration. Going back and watching the tape against Denver, Zach Wilson made at least 4 or 5 critical errors. 2 of the critical errors came at the end of the half and at the end of the game. You're not going to win games against good teams. Bad teams let you beat them in their building. That's exactly what the Broncos are. The Eagles have a monster defensive line, struggling in the secondary for sure, but Jalen Carter has been everything that everybody said he was going to be as a professional football player. I love the Eagles' defensive line. I'm going to lay the 7 and take the Eagles.
Everything in my body wants to take the Jets here, but Boomer's right. Plus any 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Eagles are just going to do that stupid rugby nonsense, the brotherly shove, and they're going to get the first down. Vera Tucker out. I can't trust Zach Wilson. It's going to be a fierce pass rush. This violates my personal code. I'll lay the 7 on the road. This stinks. All right, Bills 14.5 now, hosting the Giants as we punish America by having to watch my Giants.
You know, on the WFAN, we have a thing that we call Feel Good Friday. We make picks at the end, and we always include the Jets and the Giants. So I have to stay consistent with my picks. On WFN, I pick the Bills to wipe out the Giants.
Totally.
There's I don't think Daniel Jones is going to play in this game. He hasn't practiced all week, so it tells me that they're going to go with Tyrod Taylor, which is probably better for the Giants right now anyway. I don't think Saquon Barkley's going to play here. Andrew Thomas is not going to play here. The same situation is going to find itself in play for the Giants as it did last week. An offensive line that is struggling against a really good pass-rushing defensive line. Give me the Bills on Sunday Night Football to put on a show and let everybody know that they are not the team that lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London last week.
The other problem, and I always use this term with the Patriots, the Giants are not athletic. You know, you face these teams like the Dolphins, the Bills, the Chiefs, certainly the Niners. Yes, physicality is important, but you've got to have athletes. The Giants on defense look so slow. And now you're going to get the Bills off a bad loss, at home, bright lights. Steph Diggs, this is a lot like the Jamar Chase stuff where one game, hey, I'm always bleeping open. The next game, 16 catches. Diggs had a meltdown on the sidelines. Allen ran cover fire for him. Yep. I think Diggs has a huge game. The Giants have no ability to rush passer. They have no ability to create turnovers. They are morbid in every sense of the word, and I apologize to America that you have to end. You've been waiting all day for Sunday night. Yeah, not when you turn this on. So here you go. Bills lay to 14.5, and I apologize on behalf of Big Blue Nation. Cowboys laying 2 at Boomers Chargers.
Wow, this has been a long week for the Cowboys, you think? Oh, my God. I mean, if I were Dak Prescott, I just want to turn off all my social media, don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to check my messages. Man, it has just been awful. And unfortunately for those guys, I think it's going to be another awful week for them. Chargers coming off of a break. Their defense was a little bit better prior to their bye. I think that, Justin Herbert's been on fire, one of the best quarterbacks consistently week in and week out. This will be a tough game. This is not going to be one of these blowout games, but I will lay the 2 points, and I will take the Chargers, and I could see them winning on a late field goal.
I hate Brandon Staley. I hate taking poorly coached teams, but everything Boomer said is right. And I still don't know that the Cowboys have adjusted to the loss of Trayvon Diggs. That is a major piece on that defense. He is a game wrecker, much like Parsons. He is a turnover machine. He is a guy that flips the field. And I'm telling you, I still do not trust McCarthy calling plays and the check down Charlie routine he's trying to get Dak to be. I will take the Chargers here. We'll give you our vetoes in the next segment. Let's take care of some business before we get to the final word, the vetoes. Boomer, tell them about Casamigos.
All right, so we both have the Chargers and 2 points. There you go. So what goes great with football? It's Casamigos Tequila, everyone. Casamigos, brought to you by those who drink it. Make sure you have plenty on hand for the Week 6 games, whether it be Añejo, Blanco, Reposado, Cristalino, or Mezcal. It's Casamigos Tequila. Reminds our friends out there to celebrate responsibly.